Did I enjoy Unravel? Yeah, it's alright. It's a 2D puzzle platformer game that has sort of a unique style and also some unique mechanics, which is not an easy thing to do in a 2D puzzle platformer genre. There are so many of these games that for a video game developer to come up with new ideas really takes some talent. So I gotta give these guys credit for making a 2D puzzle platformer that feels different. The whole thing is based on the main character, Yarny. So you play as this guy and he's made of yarn. As you run, he will unravel and lose the yarn that makes him up. This is essentially a health mechanic that restricts you from going too far without hitting certain checkpoints. Now, when you hit a checkpoint, you kind of refill your yarn and then you can move on for a longer period of time. But sometimes you can't really reach the checkpoint, so you have to think back and see if you used too much yarn to solve a previous puzzle or not, and kind of backtrack a little bit and think about what you did so you can reach the next checkpoint. Because you're always unraveling your yarn, you can also use it to solve various problems. And this is where the unique mechanics come into play. You see, for a puzzle platformer, the game controls are not too tight. But it's not a problem in this game because if you miss a jump, you can simply hit left trigger and you'll grab onto your yarn so you can climb back up and try that jump again. It's not too punishing when you miss stuff like that. But also, you know, it wouldn't hurt to have tighter controls, to be honest. You can tie your yarn on specific spots and kind of make a trampoline to make you reach higher places. You can swing like Spider-Man across the map, and it has some engaging puzzles. I'm not gonna say that the difficulty was too hard. I got stuck a couple of times, but nothing too crazy really. So overall, I thought the difficulty was right on the sweet spot. Of course, the first thing many people are gonna notice about this game is the unique look that it has. And it's more than just this yarn toy walking around realistic scenarios, because a lot of the objects that you find within the levels, they have their own physics. And you have to use those physics to make your way across. Like some objects will float in the water and Yarny cannot swim because he's made of yarn. So you need to push those objects into the water and then kind of jump on top of them. Sometimes there's physics like you'll drop a rock on top of a wooden plank while being at the other end and you'll be flinged across the map. And it's really neat how the environment reacts when you interact with it, like objects moving out of place or stuff falling down, and all of this plays into the puzzles. And it's really well built. Though it's not all perfect, like there were a couple of puzzles where I had a solution in mind and I tried it out, and it just doesn't work. Like the puzzle solutions are very linear. You have to know what the developer wanted with that puzzle. More than once I did things that I thought were well within Yarny's abilities, but the game just wasn't prepared for that solution, so nothing really worked. And this happened a couple of times. Another thing I didn't like were some elements in the game, like for example these flies. They are just annoying. This is not fun. Basically these flies make you walk slower and you kind of have to tap right trigger to shoo them off, but you only do the animation that repels the flies once you have like 3 or more of them around you. And there's the constant buzzing noise in your ears as well. I know the flies are there for a reason, for sort of a narrative reason. Not that the game has a narrative, but we'll get to that. But there's a reason why they put flies in that game. But I think it could still be done without making them an annoying mechanic that you have to deal with. This is only an example. There were a couple of others, but I don't want to spoil any more than I just did for you guys. And since we touched on the narrative, I can't really say the game has a story or a narrative. As you're playing through these levels, you're kind of rebuilding a photo album, like a family photo album, which does have a message behind it. And it's one of those things that it's either gonna speak to you or not. To me, I thought it was neat to see this person's experience, or kind of this family's experience, because it's very different than mine. But the game seems to try to reach into your heartstrings and kind of make you feel things, which is weird, I know, right? And it didn't really happen to me, because I just feel so distanced. My experience and these guys' experience is really, really distinct. I still thought it was fun, just not the emotional game that perhaps they were trying to build. Anyway, if you're into 2D puzzle platformers, I think Unravel is a solid purchase. It does have its quirks, like the linear puzzle solutions, and some mechanics are not that fun, and maybe the lack of a narrative is also a turn off for some people, but it's got that unique look, it's got some unique mechanics, and the difficulty was just on the right spot, which I think is essential for a puzzle platformer, no doubt. I guess I should mention the time it took me to beat the game too. It was about 4 hours and a half, maybe 5 hours, so it's actually pretty short, but I didn't go into each level to try to find the secrets. Like each level has 5 secrets, which are these, I don't know, flowers, and they're usually either hidden or you have to figure out a new puzzle way to get to them. And some of them were actually pretty challenging. Some of the most satisfying puzzles I solved were while trying to get these flowers and not actually during the main progression, if you know what I mean. So I think they're worth your attention, and I got a few of them, like 50% or so, but I didn't get all of them, and I guess if I did, the game would be a bit longer, but not too much, actually. It's still a pretty short game. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Let me know yours. If you have played the game already, let me know what you think of it. If you haven't played the game already, let me know how this video helped you make a decision. Are you gonna buy it? Are you not gonna buy it? Why? What turned you on? What turned you off? Let me know everything down in the comments below. While you're down there, click that like button because it helps me out a lot, and it's just a simple click for you. It's like our relationship isn't even fair. I have to make a full video and you guys just have to click a like button. What? And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing for more gaming goodness. I've been Globku, and until next time, boy.